Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on my take on this mob wife aesthetics trend that's going on. So if you would like to see how I got this look and what products I used, then keep on watching. All right, y'all. I am kind of excited to do this little trend that's going on. So I'm gonna do a tutorial on my take for makeup for this mob wife aesthetic. Usually my makeup's a little bit more grungier. My outfits are a little bit more grungier, a little bit more emo. I don't know the best way to describe it. I wear a lot of black and I like bold grungy makeup. So today I'm going to be doing a smoky eye because I feel like this whole mob wife aesthetic is like a smoky eye and it's all about the lips and the lashes. So when it was coming to like what makeup I wanted to play with today, I wanted to use something that's still kind of current, even if it's not brand new out. And I'm torn between using the Fatally Yours palette from Milk Cosmetics and Bailey Sarian or the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda Beauty. I think for today, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette just because I am going to be doing a smoky eye that's kind of basic, but then I also want to play with gold, so I'm kind of torn because, you know, for this whole look it's like big gaudy gold jewelry. Oh, where's my gaudy gold rings? I don't have a lot of gold rings. In fact, I've only got one ring that's actually like real jewelry that's gold. Everything else is costume jewelry and most likely from Target. I'm going to start off by priming my eyes, and I'm going to be using the Beauty Creations Color Base Primer in the shade Ballerina Girl. So I feel like this whole mob wife aesthetic is like 2 steps away from 80s hairband, not gonna lie, which I would prefer, honestly, would be more of like the 80s big hair, white snakes, here I go again, like that type of vibe. I really do enjoy that. I don't know, this is like borderline like Housewives of New Jersey. That's kind of how I feel like this whole vibe is. And I like it. I think it's cute. It's kind of fun. It's definitely better than this whole like minimalistic, millennial pink kind of, I'm not a minimal makeup kind of girl. So I'm kind of glad that the trend is finally changing. My interpretation of this whole look is like a big bold wing. So I'm gonna share a few of my tips and tricks for a winged eyeliner because winged eyeliner is my go-to. I usually don't do like a super big wing, but I'm gonna do a little bit bigger and bolder today. I prefer to use a liquid liner that's in a pen format, but also is a bristle tip. I find that if you have a bristle tip, you can kind of have more precision. I find that the felt tips, I don't get like the sharp point at the end of my wing that I prefer, but also I find that at like the base here where like the felt, in the case if it was a felt tip, I find that if you have a felt tip pen, right, for your eyeliner, I find that the product leaks where the plastic component meets the actual felt tip itself. I don't seem to have that problem with these bristle tip liners. I used to use the KVD one, the tattoo liner. At some point, the KVD one just stopped being the iconic tattoo liner, as in it wasn't as good anymore. They changed the formula and it sucked. So I ended up switching over to this one from Huda Beauty. This is the Life Liner Quick and Easy. I prefer the shade Very Vanta. It's very black and very matte, which is what I like in a eyeliner. So when I do my wing, I kind of like to start at the outer corner first. I want to use the line on the side to kind of, not estimate, but kind of sketch out my wing. So I always do it from the outer corner and towards my brows. So kind of like you see how it's in line with the tail of my brow. And I like to, like personally, I don't need to do my liner before I do my eyeshadow. But if you're not a wing liner kind of girl and you don't usually do it or you have a lot of struggles with it, then doing your liner before you do your shadow is going to be really helpful because it's going to make cleanup a lot easier. So I've kind of drawn that outer line and now I'm going to kind of take where I had the point of my liner and I'm going to bring it in. And I'm just going to do a straight line. So I drew a straight line just from that point down towards the center of my eyeball. Like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. And I definitely need a new liner because like there is not much ink coming out of this. I might just go get a new one out of my backup drawer. Yeah, I think it's time for me to get a new liner. It's okay. I have like 7 of these in a backup drawer. Whew. Okay. Back with a new one. I probably should have started it with a new one. I didn't realize that that one was drying out. All right. So I was filling it in. So I'm just going to kind of fill in my wing. Okay, so now I have like majority of my wing all filled in, but now I gotta do my wing going to my inner corner. Now, depending on how you want your look to be, I know there are different people who like to start their wing kind of like at this point. I like to bring my wing all the way down to my inner corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hold the pen at like the end, and I'm going to like lightly just kind of press along my lash line. So now it's time to clean up my liner. So I actually, like, it's not too bad, but it could be a lot sharper. So before I get into shadow, what I like to do to clean up my liner is take a little bit of the eye base that I use and put it on a palette. So I already have some right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take, I think this is originally like a lip brush, but it's just a flat small brush. And I'm gonna use that with a little bit of product and just kind of clean up my wing. And this kind of works to clean up everywhere that you need to clean up your wing. So if you made mistakes on the eyelid, then you could just kind of clean it up like that. But now I'm going to go ahead and get into the shadow itself. So I'm going to start off with this grungy purple shade Nirvana, and I'm going to be using that on my outer corner. What I'm going to do is lay down this color, and then I'm going to use black to deepen it up. And that's kind of how I'm going to do my smoky eye today. No. So personally, if we're going to go for like mob gangster aesthetics, I really would prefer like, I enjoyed like the 1960s kind of vibe, like the Cray Brothers. Like I like that kind of mob style personally. Okay. If we're going to like copy aesthetics from a time period and we're going to choose it with mobs, I would definitely prefer the 1960s over the late 80s, early 90s kind of style. I like it, but I definitely prefer, I feel like it was a little bit more classy. I also really enjoyed the movie Legends with Tom Hardy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a clean fluffy brush and just kind of use that to buff everything out, even though it is the first shade I've laid down. But I do want everything to be a little bit more, not a little bit more, I want it to be less harsh, so. And I feel like that purple went on a little bit harsher than I would have liked it to. And I'm going to take a little bit of that and bring that to the center as well. I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Renegade, which is going to be in matte black. And I'm going to place this in my outer crease. So just to add depth, but above my wing, and just kind of bringing it up into my crease little by little, blending it into that first shade I laid down. And then now I'm gonna add a little bit of gold. I was on the fence earlier if I wanted a little bit gold, but if I'm gonna wear this gold chunky jewelry, I want a little bit of gold in my eyes to tie it together. And what I'm gonna do is actually take a highlighter instead of a gold shadow. So I have a few gold products right here in front of me. And I was going to use this one from Patrick Ta. I don't understand what happened to this product because I bought this product off Sephora. I even did a first impressions back when it came out, I believe like the end of October, early November. This product I cannot find on Sephora and I cannot find on Patrick Ta's website. So I'm not going to be using this, but I'm going to be using something equivalent. So this is, if you are curious, the Make It Major Multi-Dimensional Eye Topper in the shade It's Giving Rich. So it's like a gold eye topper, but it looks like tiny diamonds on your eyelid. And I feel like that would be a really nice look to go with this whole aesthetic trend. So instead, I'm going to be using the one from Give by Gwen Stefani. And this is in the shade Glimmer. So it's kind of the same concept, but this is more of a yellow gold. The other one was more of a champagne gold. So I want to swatch it so you can kind of see the diamond-like finish in there. So that's what I'm going to use in my eyes. I believe along with a little bit of Fenty Beauty's Trophy Wife highlighter. I've recently been going through my collection and doing a declutter. So there's Trophy Wife. And I remembered all these products that I like to use on the eyes that are technically face products. So that is why I'm using them today. And both of these products are still products that you can purchase, pick up from Sephora or the brand's website. So I'm gonna start off by taking a little bit of this Trophy Wife, and I'm gonna dab a little bit using my finger on the center of my eye. And then what I'll do is I'll use a brush to blend it in with the shadows I've already laid down. And I'm being very careful not to take it above the crease because I feel like this look needs to kind of stay, not that it's gonna stay subtle on the eyes, but I believe like, you know, I'm gonna do the bold lips, and I feel like shadow up to my brows or above my crease is just not necessary for this look. So I'm using a clean brush and I'm blending Trophy Wife into the shadow I laid down. And then I'm going to take my finger and use this loose glitter slash eye topper from Give and blend that onto the eye as well. So I'm going to put that on the inner corner, blending into everything I've laid down. Taking that clean brush and I'm going to buff it all together. Okay, so that's going to be like the base of the eyes. But now that I've laid down all of my shadow and my glitter, my liner is obviously going to be not as black as it was when I started. If I wasn't showing you how I do my liner, I would have done my liner last, but because, like I said earlier, some people don't have experience with wing liner and find it difficult. So now I'm gonna go on top and just reapply my liner where I've already put it. All right, y'all. So I obviously went ahead and applied my foundation, got my base face, you know, all of the necessities, okay? So I went ahead and went with a full coverage foundation because I feel like this whole mob wife thing, you gotta be like full glam in it. So I did use my favorite foundations. I used the KVD Good Apple Serum mixed in with the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin because that combination just works really great for me. It's full coverage and has like a little bit of a glow. And then I went ahead and just like contoured my face and then added setting powder. Did what I needed to do, okay? Oh crap, my earrings. I gotta put my gaudy earrings back in. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the under eyes. And I wanna keep everything nice and smoky. So I'm basically gonna be playing with the same colors again. Okay, what a big pain in the ass. I've lost my earring back and the one that I have in there is like not keeping my earring intact, which is so annoying. But anyway, so let me go ahead and move on to the under eyes. So for the under eyes, I'm gonna go straight into the black and I'm gonna smoke this out. So I'm gonna dip into the shade Renegade and I'm gonna take this on an angled eyeliner brush and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stamp that at the bottom and then kind of drag it down. So I stamp and drag, stamp and drag. And I'm gonna kind of bring it up into the wing so that the bottom of my wing starts to be a little bit smoky too. And I'm taking this and I'm bringing it almost until the inner corner. So then I'm gonna take the Nirvana shade that we used earlier, or that I should say I used earlier, and I'm gonna use that to smoke the black out. So I'm gonna apply it underneath and just kind of smoke it out. And in between uses, I'm gonna be wiping the brush off. I don't wanna get too much black pigment on my brush. And then anytime that you feel like the powder got too low, I like to take the poof that I use for my under eyes, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of, there is my earring, kind of use that to fix the edges. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take this pale lavender shade and I'm gonna use it in the inner corner, and that is the shade Beauty Chaos. And I'm gonna take it on a detailing fluffy brush, and this is what I'm gonna put in my inner corner, bringing under my eye. Now I wanna move on to lashes. So I feel like a big part of this look is some big, bold lashes. And the lashes that I'm gonna use are from Kiss, and this is in the style Noblesse. And these are pretty big for what I usually wear. I am a big fan of the Ardell 421s. I like a natural lash because, man, these big lashes are sometimes just really heavy. So what I'm going to do is cut them in half, and I'm gonna apply them in halfsies. And of course, before I apply my lashes, I am gonna put a coat of mascara on them. Actually, these aren't big enough, so let me find a bigger lash. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and use these lashes from Lunar Beauty. So this is in the style Nova, and I've actually already given these a little bit of a chop, which is good because that's what I'm doing today. So in these lashes, I'm gonna kind of just like cut off like the first three like clusters of lashes. And I'm gonna use this bit to stick on the outside, so that way it's not going all the way in. There was a time where these were my go-to lashes, and like seeing them now, they're so huge, so intimidating. And I like remember like that heavy lash draggy feeling, which cutting them the way that I'm doing it now will kind of help. Like if you have a problem with heavy lashes and you don't like your lashes to be heavy, cutting them and doing this is gonna help a whole bunch. So now I'm gonna apply this on the outer corner. I also find when you like cut your lashes like this, you get more of a precise application. So you can follow your lash line a little bit better, but also like when you do it in one whole strip, you usually have an issue of it like lifting in certain spots, like the inner corner or the outer corner. And when you do it this way, because there's going to be breaks in your lashes stay on much longer, but then also it's more comfortable. So I got like that first half on, and you can obviously tell that I need more lashes. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just, so I have 3 of them left. I don't even know if you can tell, but I'm gonna cut off the middle one and just apply the little 2 on the outside. And like I said, this is gonna prevent it from lifting in the inner corner. So I'm taking the smaller bit right now, and I'm gonna be putting it, like connecting the 2. And it does not make my lashes go all the way to the inner corner, but it looks, your lashes appear full. The finale of this look is all on the lips, okay? I did pop off camera real quick and added some highlight and a blush, and I went with a neutral blush, which is not something I usually do. I actually use the Bare Cheeks palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and I just used a smidgen of Just the Touch and In the Buff. So I kind of just blended these two and applied it. It's not super like bold and in your face, but I feel like for this look, that's not what we're doing. So I think what like really pops this whole like mob wife aesthetic is the red lip. And I think the best way to do this red lip is do the darker to the lighter. So I've actually got a selection of reds right here. These are my favorite red liquid lipsticks. They're by Give by Gwen Stefani. And I'm gonna start off with the darker one, and that darker one is the shade Tartan. This is a like wine red. And the lip liner I'm gonna be using is from Kylie Cosmetics. This is in the shade Bite Me. Okay, so the reason I went in with the shade Bite Me is because I've only got one Gwen Stefani lip liner, and it is the bright red, which is the red I'm not using. And this shade blends in really nicely with the shade Tartan. And so I'm gonna start off by applying this shade just in the outer corners of my lips. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade Original Recipe, and this is the brighter red, and I'm gonna apply it just in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and take my darker lippy, which is the shade Tartan. I'm gonna use a lip brush, and I'm gonna blend the shades together. All right, y'all, so this is the final look. So here is my take on the mob wife aesthetic look. Is this a trend that you guys kind of want to see stick around? Or is this like one of those things like you want it done in 2 weeks, you want to move on to something else? Just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But until next time, bye y'all.